Dorothy,
Hi.
how's it going?
Good morning. Good morning. Good. How's it going?
I'm good. I think you're back on the road now. Are you on the tour bus?
Yes, I'm on my tour bus.
Where are you at the moment?
We're in Pennsylvania.
And how does it feel to be back on the road and in that tour bus now?
It's really good. The shows have been awesome.
What was the first show that you played like after the break?
We did, well, the big one was Welcome to Rockville last year in
Oh yeah, of
November.
course.
It was big. It was really, really awesome. That was down in Florida.
Yeah, that's a big show to make your comeback after the break, right?
Yeah, it was really cool.
How did it feel walking out on that stage after the times we've been through?
Oh man, I don't know. I kind of left my body and just, my brain took a minute to catch up with what was happening. It was until after the show I saw all the footage. I was like, that was really cool. But yeah, I kind of blacked out.
So I'm lucky enough to have heard your new album, Gifts from the Holy Ghost. I am blown away by this album, I've got to say. It feels like not only a life affirming album, but maybe a life changing album for you. Is that a fair assumption?
Yeah, I would agree with you on that. I certainly wanted it to be a life affirming album. And I think my life changed. And so that became the substance behind the record.
Back in 1939, there was a film that came out that you might be aware of, and it involved a girl called Dorothy who grew up in very humble beginnings and then was kind of transformed into this world that she didn't understand. You might say she was kind of walking through hell, trying to find a way out of it. And then eventually she made it back to the other side. I'm seeing some kind of parallels to how your life has gone. Would you agree with me?
Yeah, it's totally interesting. Yeah, totally. I mean, we all go on journeys in this life, and what you do with it is really important. And I wouldn't change a thing. That it's funny that you say that. That lyric is. There was a time I was running through hell, never thought I'd make it out alive, but I made it to the other side. And then we got to come back and pull other people out, right?
Yeah.
We got to come back and try to help. And that's why my life changed. And so now I live from a position of trying to be of service to people, and combining that with music is really interesting. It's an interesting challenge because, everyone likes a good, fun party rock and roll song, but I wanted that with substance too. So that was the challenge making this record.
Well, there's a lot of substance on this record, like you mentioned. And the subject of life and death seems to be a bit of a theme through some of the songs. Can you remember a catalyst moment where this album started?
Well, we all went through this pandemic, and I'm sure everyone's so sick of talking about it. But I was lucky, I guess, in a way, or maybe it was predetermined that it fell on an album cycle, and so I could have chosen to hide and not do anything, but I thought, the best use of my time is probably to write songs. So I just started collecting songs for the record, and I had already been writing for almost a year before that. And I just continued the journey really and through this whole experience. And I wanted to write songs once we got on the other side of it that people would really resonate with, that would give them hope and help them in some way. And so that's really the intention I went into making the album with.
And would you consider yourself quite a spiritual person?
100%, yes.
If somebody listens to this album front to back and goes on that ride with you, how do you want them to feel at the end of it?
Free.
Good word. Tell me more.
Just, hopeful, like that they could go out and live their dream, that anything is possible, that they are loved and taken care of, that ask and you shall receive, knock and the door shall be open to you, that they're not alone. And that's it, that freedom, that they're a sovereign human being, and that, despite all the pressure everyone's been under and all the darkness, that there's just, it's allowed and we have free will, but that there's hope and there's beautiful people waiting for you on the other side of that.
We're getting back to the Wizard of Oz theme again.
So wild. Now I'm seeing it. Yeah.
You've spoken before about progress, not perfection. Now, this album feels like quite a big, significant jump. Obviously, you've had a lot of success before, but it feels like this is something different. Is that how you're feeling at the moment? We're just about to unleash it into the world.
I think I grew exponentially as an artist. I think all the convergence of talent on this record is really mind-blowing. I'm just humbled by it. And I wanted, I cherry-picked these gem songs. I wanted 10 really strong songs. And 28 Days in the Valley was a little different. But hard rock is just where we live. And it can have soul and it can have some classic rock influence. There's a lot of different types of rock and roll influencing this whole record, but there's a nice theme. And Chris Lord-Alge did a great job mixing everything and pulling it all together and making it work on a record. And I wanted the standard, the bar to be set really high as far as how many singles there are. Even the vocal performances, which I kind of, most of the songs I produced my vocals with Joseph McQueen, and I sat and comped everything with him, made sure I was using the right microphone, and that, nothing was overlooked because I'd learned from experiences in the past what I like and what I don't like. And so I felt like I was alone on a ship navigating the choppy water, but then these incredible people would jump on and help me finish something and then jump off. And then now here we are, we're just like less than 2 weeks away from the album being out for everyone to hear.
How do you feel in the days before it's unleashed into the world? Is it kind of nervous excitement? How do you feel?
I'm very, very grateful, very humbled. It's not me. I couldn't have done it without everybody that was involved. And there's so many people involved. You just don't realize, like, producers, engineers, mixing, the label, management, and then out on the road, the band, tour manager, our sound guy, our guitar tech, our merch guy. There's so many people that are part of this. I'm just part of it. And I'm just like, I feel like I'm surrounded by my family, and it's so much fun. It's awesome. Also, I have a little bit of like tour brain where you're kind of in a constant state of jet lag. So I don't know if I'm dreaming or awake right now.
Are you playing some of the songs that people have not heard from the album on the road at the moment?
No, we're playing What's Coming to Me and Rest in Peace. We're playing a couple songs off 28 Days in the Valley. And then a lot of songs from Rocket's Dead, because I want them to sit with the songs and get to know the lyrics and get to know them. And then when they know them, they're so excited to come to the show and hear it live. If they hear it live without knowing the song first, they're kind of figuring out the song, and I want them just to enjoy it. So I prefer to wait until they have heard the song a bit.
This song on the album, Close to Me Always, that it feels like that's a moment on its own contained on the album. What can you tell me about that song? It feels like a very personal song to you.
So I actually have to give all the credit to Audra May, who wrote that. So there's 2 songs on the record I didn't actually participate in the songwriting of.
Okay.
And Audra May, she's in Nashville. She wrote that for her friend whose father passed away. And when I heard the song, I just started crying. It's so beautiful. And it was like a challenge because her voice is incredible. I was like, how am I going to wrap my brain around performing this? And, I was able to do it somehow. And it's a very bittersweet song. I think so many people can relate to losing a loved one, celebrating their memory, always feeling connected to them, even though they've left their physical vehicle behind and moved on. And so we haven't performed it yet, but I feel like it's like Shelter on crack. It's like such a great ballad. And Chris Lord-Alge did an amazing job. He produced it, and I'm just grateful that I got a chance to take some songs from Audra. She also wrote What's Coming to Me.
So that's interesting that you can interpret a song so well that I feel like it's personal to you. So when you're writing your lyrics, are you conscious that the listeners are going to reinterpret those lyrics and make it personal to them?
I'm in a space of listening, like listening for the words and writing them down. It's like a channeling session. Like I listen for the words. Sometimes I'm trying to make it happen with my mind, and certainly you can write a song that way, but when it's inspired and it's something that's coming to you, I can't explain how or why it happens. And when it has a substantial message, that's really, really fun. And so that's how I wrote like We Are Stars with Linda Perry too. We were sitting down, she had the chorus idea. And as she's strumming the guitar, these words are just coming to me and I'm writing them down, and they felt very spiritual too. So, are we just flesh and bone? Are we, like the Milky Way and the great unknown? Like, what are we made of? What's our purpose? It was just asking those bigger questions, but I just try to listen for the inspiration and then capture it.
You seem like somebody who likes to think about the big questions.
I do, yeah.
I know that you grew up surrounded by your stepdad's record collection. What are the records particularly that stand out from that time listening to his, I guess they were on vinyl, right?
Yes. Michael Jackson Thriller, Pink Floyd Dark Side of the Moon, CCR Chronicles, there's Bob Marley records. I listened to a lot of oldies and Motown and blues and jazz. I listened to like Ella Fitzgerald and Billie Holiday and Aretha Franklin. So much, but a lot of rock and roll. There was a lot of like 70s rock and roll. And then I got really into, AC/DC and Bon Jovi and Motley Crue and, all the fun 80s stuff. There's so much music that I got to get my hands on.
And growing up surrounded by that music, I can see like many of those influences combining to create what you're creating now. So you end up on Rock Nation. How has that affected your career? Like, that's not an expected label to be associated with for this kind of music. What's the pluses and minuses of being on a label like that?
I think they have a pretty eclectic roster, if I'm not mistaken, which is great. And one of my favorite things of all time is when Jay-Z and Linkin Park did Collision Course. I thought that was super cool. I love Linkin Park, and I grew up listening to like 90s West Coast hip hop, and also New York, Jay-Z and all that. So I thought that was really cool. I mean, I don't think it matters what label you're on as long as they believe in you and they offer their resources and they do what they signed up to do. And they certainly have been awesome. They've been really great with like sync and licensing and getting our songs, on Netflix and video games and TV shows. And that's great because it pays the bills, it feeds the band, so to speak. And
it's amazing.
Gets the music out there, in creative new ways. There's also streaming, but a lot of people are playing the I think it's the MLB game right now. And I think they license Top of the World. So that's actually out on a video game.
Right. Okay. Yeah, I think it's a really interesting collaboration. That's why I ask about it, because it's quite unusual. And I actually saw Jay-Z and Linkin Park on that tour when they toured together. It's an amazing just clash of worlds that makes something completely brand new. What about new music? What new music is exciting you these days?
I have been so inundated with tour. Like I haven't, I give my ears kind of a rest when I'm not out there performing, but there's some really great playlists on Spotify. There's Fierce Femmes and some of the cool rock playlists that they put Rest in Peace on. I think the new Hailstorm stuff is incredible. Sick Brain, a lot of the stuff Miley Cyrus has been doing is really cool. She reminds me of Blondie. There's like some 80s vibes in there.
Yeah.
I'm hearing a lot about Bad Omens. And so, and we have Classless Act and Joyous Wolf on our tour with us. Those guys are great, really fun, positive, fun to tour with. And we just did a show with Dirty Honey. I feel lucky to be surrounded by so much cool talent. It's awesome.
Yeah, so rock's definitely not dead.
Nope. Never will be either.
I want to play.
Wait, I forgot. Lilith Czar. I'm obsessed with her.
Okay.
I love her. She's on tour right now. Lilith Czar is amazing. She's just a total rock star. And I want to give her a shout out because I love the new stuff. I love her reinvention of herself is brave and amazing and creative and fierce. So she's doing great.
Cool. So I want to play a little game with you where we play fantasy rock band. So you can pick any names, living or dead, to create your ultimate rock band. So we need a singer, guitarist, you know the score. Who would you put in the band?
It's a really, really hard one. John Frusciante on guitar. This is such a tough one because I want to really think about it and make it good. Can I think about this and get back to you? This is to be serious. I take this very seriously. Let's see. John Frusciante, love him. John Paul Jones. The Reverend from Avenged Sevenfold on drums.
Nice.
How weird. The Rev, Jimmy, or Taylor Hawkins. Yeah, we've lost too many good drummers. And then the front man or woman. I mean, Axl Rose in his heyday as a front man. I know this is a weird mashup. I wonder what this band would sound like.
No, that's the joy of it, really, because you're creating something that's obviously never going to happen, but we can kind of imagine it in our minds.
I just like those individuals so much.
Yeah, that's pretty epic rock style. So, and maybe you can duet as well.
Maybe. Yeah, I'm down. I would not turn that phone call away.
So what's next for you?
I want to start the next album.
All right, you ready?
Yeah, I want to start writing the next album.
Well, it feels like it's a really amazing time for you. There's a lot of potential in the air. I'm sure you can feel it as well. I just wish you all the best with what happens next. And also a belated happy birthday, I believe.
Thank you very much. Yeah.
But it's been really nice talking to you, and enjoy getting out there on the road. And hopefully we'll see you in Montreal soon.
You too. Yes, I would love to see you in Montreal.